year. So we are over 4 light years from home.
Ta-da! I don't know who else you're expecting. It's me, of course, and happy Halloween to you all. I love this time of year, not just because I get to put on a silly costume, entertain my friends, usually go to a party, something like that, and I love all that stuff. And so this year is likely to be quite different for a lot of people. So I thought we would try something different and ask who's behind the mask. Because I think, we all wear masks to one extent or another, don't we? Whether it's one for work, one for home, one for kids, one for friends, whatever it might be, I think we play different roles in different parts of our lives, or at least I think that I do. And I've always been happy to be silly, centre of attention, sparkly when times are sweet, and that served me quite well. I think, if I'm brutally honest, and this is not looking for sympathy, but I think I maybe had it a bit rough in school and found it easier if I'm making people laugh, then they're not taking the mick, if that makes sense. And I think that stuck with me. And again, I can't complain because it's meant I've been able to make so many amazing friends and have so many amazing experiences. But it all falls down a little bit when the stakes get high, And so lately, big changes, starting a new business, I found it difficult to talk about it. I found it difficult to know what to say. I find it cringe having to sell myself in that way. And I suppose some of this is also cringe too, in that if I want my message out there, I have to overcome that feeling of, finding my voice and being honest and authentic about it. And I think that it snowballed a little bit because then the conversations, it became about parenthood, they became about mental health, having to try and find the words to talk about something that, I'm not comfortable with. Suddenly, I realised mid-conversation that I'm flapping and I'm failing and my fight or flight's going, and suddenly surrounded by people that I know care for me, I am like a fish out of water, and it's easier for me to avoid being in those situations. And suddenly life takes a turn that you never expected. And if you talk to people who haven't had that experience or a brush with it, I'm fortunate that mine is hopefully a brush with it. I am able to find the words now, and I think that people will find it difficult to understand. I've talked to people who are very close to me who've said, "What have you got to be worried about, anxious about?" And I'm like, it's a fair question. I have the life right now that I dreamed of, and never mind everybody else. But I also know that I have so many things to be thankful for, and I am. But that doesn't change the fact that, these things aren't about how much we have or what we've, got, or who cares for us. It's deeper than that, and it's more long term than that. And I think, this dark character inside of me, it sounds very Halloween-y, isn't it? Has had some power over me for quite a long time. But I'm finding some strength in talking about it. I've definitely realised that being vulnerable and insecure and trying to work yourself out is not the weakness. The weakness is not being aware of it, not being able to talk about it, and not knowing how it's impacting other parts of your life. And so this Halloween, let's get dressed up. Let's do what we can to make the best of it. But when we take off that mask, why not ask who is really behind it? What would your truth be if you didn't have to play so many different roles? What are you keeping hidden from the rest of the world that might be holding you back? And happy Halloween. Be safe, and thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Light travels 6 trillion miles a year, so we are over 4 light years from home.